Hey everybody, it's Nabil, your Let's Slow This Down IT co-pilot, and today I want to go over what tool I use to pass the ISO 42001 implementer exams. And so I wanted to go over what tool I use to study. The reason why I want to do this is because I think for the first time I was actually kind of happy with my results. Every time, for all my other certifications, every time I studied for an exam, it was to pass. And so I would trust that I would retain and gain good knowledge post passing the certification on the topic. This is the first time I feel like I actually learned the knowledge and went in and took the exam. So I wanted to share how I did that with, you guessed it, Google's NotebookLM. Now there's three tiers or maybe even four tiers, but the two main tiers for us is either free or a paid pro version through either Google One or one of the other Google AI Pro accounts. And so I paid $100. It was 50% off at the end of last year for the whole year, and that was with Google One, etc. But I've got a referral code for you for Google AI Pro for 4 months for free of Pro. So you should try this at least. You should at least make a Pro account and use Gemini and use Google NotebookLM and see the difference. Now, if you don't do the paid version, if you're going to follow me here and do the free version, it's very limited. So I'll tell you in the video what is and what isn't. All right, we'll go to notebooklm.google.com. We'll create one. And so because of proprietary reasons, I can't add the data that I used to study for the ISO because that was through a course that my company Data Prize paid for, and that is proprietary data. So I'm just going to do an incident command one, something that we do at a fire station I volunteer at, something that everybody in the service has to go through, just your basic ICS courses. They're done online. And so I'm going to show you how you can study for an exam using that as an example, since it's free and not proprietary. Okay, so I'm uploading my sources here to the left. We've got 3 sections of this page. So anything you want to learn, study, develop a deeper understanding of, you'll add the data on there in the left column under your sources. You can add multiple sources. You can add YouTube links. So if there's like a YouTube link that you think can help you understand and digest this information more, you can add that. You can add PDFs. You can add Excel sheets. You can add a bunch of data here. You can actually even create your own copy-pasted data to be included as your reference point. This tool is so cool because if I didn't have this tool, I would literally be reading about 15 documents, God knows how many pages each one is, of all this. Look at this. Can you imagine? Yeah, right. So now that I got my sources here on the left, and I've got my middle section here, which is your basic chatbot, your LLM, your Gemini. Basically, I will go in here and I'll ask questions. I can go and ask it to clarify something. I can, ask it to create prompts, which I will later. So it's your typical LM. To the right is where the magic happens. That's where you create collateral to understand the stuff on the left. So that's all we've got. We've got our first section, the data, our Gemini, your LLM, your chatbot in the middle, and then to the right you've got your Google Call Studio, but it's your collateral. All right, so let's click the ones that don't have like a pencil or a pen to edit there. So we'll click Mind Map, click Reports. Under Report, let's just get a briefing document. Video, let's get an explainer, and let's just choose any style and let those run in the background. So for the mind map, this gives you an overview. You can see over here how nice this is. So we can click this and we can download this. We can fully open it and download this. So this gives me an overview of ICS 100 and all that's involved. Next is the briefing document. So this is what I actually use at the fire department when I put the month's report. When I gather all the month's report, I gather everything to the left. You do want to be careful for proprietary data, definitely not HIPAA or any type of data, PCI data, etc. You definitely don't want to use that. You want to be careful what you're putting in there. Now, Google NotebookLM doesn't use the data on here for learning as much as they do like for Gemini, etc. So this is a little bit more secure, but does not give you a license or permission to go and put things in there that you shouldn't. So I'll put like run numbers. I'll put how many hours volunteers volunteered. I'll put a bunch of that stuff, and it'll just give me this nice briefing document. I mean, it's really detailed. Okay, So the rest, we're going to want to go into the prompts, and we want to we could just click the buttons and they will just generate, but that's just blank. And just like anything in LLM and AI, you got to be really more detailed. So let's ask for a prompt. I'm asking here, give me a prompt I can use in NotebookLM Studio to help me study for the ICS exam. I want to know the contents and be confident I can pass with at least 90%. Not the greatest, but usually I would even follow up with ask me questions until you're 99% sure I've got the right prompt, etc. I'll go in deeper, but for this particular purpose, even if you did this much, is better than just clicking the button randomly. So now it understands, it's probably going to follow back up with some questions. So now it understands that I want a prompt and a good prompt, and it knows what I want to achieve. So I'm going to copy that prompt. You do want to make sure that you're mentioning that you're going to use this in Notebook Studio, because otherwise it'll just give you one general one, but this one gives me the one to put into the study guide. So for the deep dive, we're going to do a deep dive using this prompt. So we'll go into the audio overview. We'll go and paste this. We'll say let's do a deep dive, make it long, and we're going to generate it, and we'll let that run. It's going to take a while. All right, for the quiz and for the flashcards, the same prompt. I'll copy this. Go here, quiz. I'll leave it at medium now. Usually I create a couple quizzes. Once I feel confident about the data, I create another one using the harder level of difficulty. So quiz and flashcards, which is missing. Here it is. All right. Over here, paste, generate. Data table is kind of like it just creates an Excel sheet of all the points. So I'll just paste that over there. And I think I got everything in motion. Oh, infographic. Let's do this. Let's do that. And let's let everything run. While everything is running, again, the briefing document, what I did here, let me move myself. The briefing document, again, just gives you a debrief of this entire data. Good for if you're going to brief anybody, a board, or anybody you're going to. So if you're not studying for exam, but you want to do a brief, you can just upload everything there and then generate that. Okay, so let's look at a quiz. Which of the following scenarios would most likely necessitate a formal transfer of command? Probably D. That's right. Now, if I want a further explanation, I can explanation, or I can go into the middle here and I can just ask questions. I can just say, hey, I don't understand, or help me understand that part. I don't get it. I get it. I can get it right, but I don't understand how we got there. Those are the questions that you can ask there. So those are your quizzes. You can go and click next and take more quizzes. Again, you can create as many as you want. So I can go back into quiz. Now, if you have the free version, I think you can only click 3. So use my referral code that I will give you guys. Okay, so what we did was the quiz so far and the mind map. Everything else is generating. So let's look at the infographic. This is a little bit detailed. In the options that I showed you, the little pencil, you can make it brief. You can make it less detailed than this, or you can even make it more detailed. So this is the overview. So if that helps paint a picture for you, you can use that. Did we do the flashcards yet? So here are the flashcards. What nationwide system is used to manage incidents regardless of their size or type? If you click the button, it will give you the answer. Again, you can click explain. You got 50 flashcards and you'll go through your flashcards. So preparing for this exam, I've got an overview with the mind map. I've got quizzes. I've got flashcards, but I still haven't learned the content yet. So to do that, I'm going to go through the briefing document, read that. I'm going to go through the data table, which we created, and the data table looks something like this. So scenario, description, practice question, correct answer, and where you can find it, which document. So you've got that. That's helpful. So now we're starting to learn this stuff. Well, this stuff is still generating. I just wanted to go over everything else. So you can add a note over here. So you've got your studio here. This is where the magic happens. But if you took some notes in a class that you want to add to this for you to review, you just click add note over here, and then you can just enter your note over there, and then it adds it to your study material to the right. You can also share this with others, and then if you do share with like 4 or more people, I think you get analytics with it. But you can add people to this and share it. Just share carefully. Just make sure you know what you're sharing. Okay, we got the video overview. Let's see how that looks. And you can play by speed. I'm more of a 1.25 guy when I'm trying to learn something, and a 1.5 guy if I just want to go over it. I can never be normal mode guy. Unfortunately, my GHD won't allow me. So I'm going to hit 1.25.
When a disaster
Let's forward
Break it
it a
down.
little bit.
Okay, the best way to really get this isn't by staring at abstract charts. It's with a real-world scenario. So let's imagine a crisis, right as it's starting to spin up. Picture
Isn't
this.
this
A
amazing?
911 call screams in from the local shopping mall.
This
Some weird
is explaining to me the content on the left. Which way would you rather learn? We need to do a slide deck. We didn't do a slide deck. I'm just gonna default length. Let's just generate it without a prompt. I wouldn't do that because the prompt helps you get a little bit more detailed. I think it should still work for you, but nothing like a good prompt. I am just showing you how I use this to study for exam, but NotebookLM is beyond that. But for creating nice slide decks, let me tell you, if you have a briefing, if you have anything that you need to present, upload all your data there to the left and then click generate slide deck and go into the prompt and tell them who your audience is, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to show, the theme that you want, etc., and it will do that. And then you can see right over here in the prompt, you would type all that, and then you want a detailed deck. You can also create a presenter slide and then generate. Once that's done, wait till you see the output. So the best part is the audio overview. And so I went in there, so I got a deep dive. So I'm going to click play and
welcome back to the deep dive.
35
Today
minutes
we're going to do something a little different.
A little different is right.
Usually we take a best-selling book or a piece of cutting-edge research and we break it down. Today we are taking a stack of government manuals.
The most exciting topic.
Right, specifically FEMA's IS-0100.C course material, and we're going to try to do the impossible. We're going to make it fascinating.
Now that is a bold promise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you see that? So now I've got my audio overview. I got 35 minutes of data. 35 minutes of knowledge over there. I've got my slide deck. I've got my data table. I've got my infographic. I've got my mind map. I've got all of my quizzes, my flashcards, all this stuff to help me understand everything here on the left, but in an entertaining way and a digestible way. And like I said, when I took the ICS 42001 exam, implementer exam, when I took that exam, I felt so good. That was a tough exam. I'm not going to lie. It had too many word problems. Like when it was multiple choice, I was going through them. I was like, give me more, give me the next one, give me the next one. I was boom, 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 boom. But then it hit the word problems where it's like 2 pages of a scenario. And then it asks you what part of the scenario did the person miss in implementing an AI management system. So that was a little bit difficult. All right, so the next part is generating the slide deck. So that's the last part, but you get the point at this point. So again, there's the free version, then there's the paid version. You're gonna need the Pro Tools to be able to do this multiple times and create multiple quizzes. You might create another quiz, kind of focus on just this particular part of it. And so now we've got the slide deck created, which I love. Look at this. Tell me this is not amazing. What can I say? Do you know how long it would take me to generate this slide deck? All I had to do was give it the data on the left side and then just go into the prompt, the edit part. That's why you want a paid version. Remember to use my code to get 4 months for free of Pro version. And you can enter the prompt that you want and you can get this slide deck. It's just absolutely amazing. So even if it is $200 for Google One or any of their other products, worth it. So that's how I passed my exam. I hope that you can benefit from this video. I wanted to help you, so hope you can help me by liking the video, sharing the video, or commenting so that it can get around to help more people. And that's the goal. I want to help more people slow things down when it comes to AI, when it comes to understanding security, and have an actual plan of attack. All right, we're out. Say goodbye.